Today, I received two completely shattered iPhones from a fan. One is an iPhone XS Max, and the other is a new iPhone 12 Pro Max. The fan said the phones were broken during a fight with her husband. They've been married for just over a year, but her husband still acts like a child. All he does is eat, drink, and play without any responsibility. Their arguments have become more frequent. A few days ago, they had a big fight. Now, even her in-laws have taken his side, isolating her and pressuring her to apologize. This fight was effective, though. It established her authority and position in the family, even though it came at the cost of two phones and some damaged appliances. After cleaning up, the damage was roughly estimated to be under 20,000 yuan, still acceptable. The iPhone 12 Pro Max belonged to her husband and was only recently bought. She asked me to check if it was still worth repairing. We opened the phone and tested it with a power meter. Pressing the power button showed the current stuck at 100 milliamperes with no response. The motherboard wouldn't boot, the screen was deformed, and the inner display was shattered. For this kind of battle-damaged device, we advised against expensive repairs. Instead, she could spend about 4,000 yuan to replace it through Apple's official exchange program. Some people quietly watch videos, but still like, comment, share, repost, and follow. They're truly adorable. After restoring the phone to its original state, we began testing the iPhone XS Max. The fan said this phone had been with her since before marriage and stored many precious photos and videos. She asked us to do everything possible to recover the data. Opening it revealed external damage and signs of water exposure. We removed the screen and tested the motherboard with a power meter. The motherboard showed a 400 milliamperes leak and wouldn't boot. We removed the motherboard for further inspection. The motherboard was bent and deformed from the impact. The iPhone XS Max uses a dual-layer motherboard design. Components are sandwiched between the layers, so we needed to separate the layers for repair. Using a heating platform, we separated the upper and lower layers of the motherboard under the microscope. We saw that many components had detached from the motherboard due to the impact. Fortunately, only the flashlight boost inductor had fallen off, which didn't affect booting. We cleaned the upper motherboard thoroughly. Testing the upper motherboard alone with the power meter showed no leakage. Pressing the power button indicated the upper motherboard could boot. This confirmed the leakage was in the lower motherboard. The lower motherboard was more severely damaged, with cracked board layers. Even though the upper motherboard could boot, data recovery wasn't possible. This was because the lower motherboard handles touch functionality. We used a cost-effective and simple solution: board transplantation. The lower motherboard manages touch and signal functions, as well as the NFC circuit. We didn't need to transfer the signal chips, as they didn't affect data recovery. However, if the CPU couldn't detect the original NFC chip, it would prompt for an invalid password, making data recovery impossible. So, we transferred the NFC chip from the damaged motherboard to the donor board. Once the NFC chip was transplanted, we used a test jig to connect the two layers of the motherboard. We connected the DockFlex cable, attached the screen, and connected an external battery. This setup allowed the phone to boot successfully. The touch functionality worked normally after booting, entered the correct password, and successfully accessed the system. Connected the phone to a computer and backed up all data. Data backup was successfully completed. To save money for her husband, the fan bought a second-hand phone of the same model. We transferred the recovered data to the new phone for her. Young man, now that you're married, it's time to grow up. Eating, drinking, and playing may be exciting, but daily life is about bread and butter. Cherish a good wife like this. Do you know how many men would envy you?